Nature. The entire universe is a dance of nature. Attempting to transcend nature is as foolish and ignorant as someone pulling their own hair to lift themselves off the ground. If practice and cultivation do not confront nature or do not practice nature, it is like scratching an itch through a thick glove. It is off-topic, upside down, and illusory. It is not only difficult to achieve happiness, joy, freedom, and contentment in life, but also impossible to reach the Elysium world of heaven. How to practice nature? It is subtle and profound, difficult to articulate. The best method is to follow my roadmap. I am the guide for the human spirit and soul. As long as you follow my guidance, your wishes will be fulfilled and your ideals will be realized. This can be verified by the Chanyuan Celestials living in the second home. Of course, the Chanyuan Celestials are still in the initial stage and have a long way to go to live in nature, but this initial stage already proves that my roadmap is entirely correct. When the Chanyuan Celestials reach the intermediate stage, their experience will be even more beautiful and joyful. Who am I? Am I a messenger of the greatest creator? An incarnation of God, Buddha, celestial, and saint? A great guiding spirit born in northwest China? Do not worry about it. Treat me as your soulmate and communicate openly. Feel if I have any demands on you. If I do, then I am a demon. If I do not, and instead guide you step by step to the peak of life and life, why not take advantage of it? Why not do a business that only gains and never loses? Face reality and yourself honestly. Act according to your nature. Discard hypocrisy and falsehood. Do not make a fuss. Do not be hysterical. Do not attempt to escape reality. Live authentically and be yourself. Otherwise, you will not enter the new human civilization, the Life-Genuine era of spirituality. 自性佛性如来本性天性. Self-nature, Buddha nature, Tathagata nature, and heavenly nature, innate nature. Xiefeng. June 7, 2012. Translation edited by Qin Yu. Self-nature is Buddha nature, and Buddha nature is Tathagata nature. Self-nature, Buddha nature, and Tathagata nature are Buddhist terms representing different expressions of understanding ultimate reality. In essence, whether it is called a potato, yam, or spud, they all refer to the same edible item. Tea, mung bean soup, milk, coffee, Coca-Cola, alcohol, blood, penicillin, etc. all share one common element, water. This water is self-nature, Buddha nature, and Tathagata nature. The principle behind the statement, all sentient beings have Buddha nature, lies in this concept. Self-nature, Buddha nature, and Tathagata nature are the original elements that constitute any entity. Adding or subtracting something from the original state results in various complex and diverse forms. Whether it is an elephant, an ant, a rabbit, a horse, a snail, an ox, a human, a Buddha, a demon, a god, or a monster, they all share one common element, nature. This nature is Tathagata nature, Buddha nature. By adding or subtracting something from this Tathagata nature, different life forms emerge. Just as humans, whether male or female, share the common element of being human, the difference lies in their structure, resulting in the distinction between men and women. A house, regardless of whether the door faces east, south, west, or north, whether it is made of iron, wood, plastic, or paper, regardless of the size of the windows, the roof material, or the interior area, is still called a house. Every kind of life is one, and all life is one. This oneness is self-nature, Buddha nature, Tathagata nature. In this sense, all beings are equal. Adding feathers and wings to this oneness results in flying insects and birds. Adding hands results in humans. Reducing mobility results in trees and plants. Increasing mobility results in animals. The oneness can be large or small, round or square, long or short, colorful or plain. An elephant, no matter how large, is one. An ant, no matter how small, is one. A butterfly, no matter how colorful its wings, is one. A moth, no matter how plain its wings, is one. How unexpected! The self-nature is originally pure. How unexpected! The self-nature is originally neither arising nor ceasing. How unexpected! The self-nature is originally complete in itself. How unexpected! The self-nature is originally unshakable. How unexpected! The self-nature can produce all phenomena. Self-nature is like this, and so are Buddha nature and Tathagata nature. Self-nature is self-harmonious, and naturally, Buddha nature and Tathagata nature are also self-harmonious. Neither arising nor ceasing, neither defiled nor pure, neither increasing nor decreasing. No sensation, no perception, no mental formations, no consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind. No form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind. No realm of the eye, up to and including no realm of mind consciousness. No ignorance and also no ending of ignorance, up to and including no old age and death, and also no ending of old age and death. No suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, and no path. No wisdom and no attainment with nothing to attain. A person's Tathagata nature is self-harmonious. Without Tathagata nature, it is not self-harmonious. A man must unite with a woman to achieve a certain level of self-harmony, and similarly, a woman must unite with a man to achieve a certain level of self-harmony. Tathagata nature has no gender distinction, nor does it have distinctions of size, length, height, weight, beauty, or ugliness. This is like the debate over whether human nature is inherently good or evil. In reality, not only at the beginning of life, but even in the middle and at the end, human nature has no distinction between good and evil. Only when this nature is expressed can it be judged as good or evil. Once this nature is expressed, it is no longer Tathagata nature but the unique nature of a thing or life. At this point, we must ask, what nature is exhibited by a cat eating a mouse, a wolf eating a sheep, or a cow eating grass? Is it self-nature? Is it Buddha nature? Is it Tathagata nature? The answer is none of these. They exhibit their respective heavenly natures. The terms cruel by nature and kind by nature originate from this. What is exhibited by various things and lives is not self-nature, Buddha nature, or Tathagata nature, but heavenly nature. Just as tea, alcohol, and milk have water as their main component, they do not exhibit water but their respective different natures. Heavenly nature is the characteristic given by the Creator to each thing in life, different from other things and lives. The structural elements of each thing and life are the same, but due to different structures, they exhibit different characteristics. Just as wooden beds, wooden doors, wooden tables, wooden stools, and wooden windows are all made of wood, but due to different structures, they exhibit different characteristics. In this sense, self-nature, Buddha nature, and Tathagata nature are like wood, while heavenly nature is like beds, doors, tables, stools, and windows. Here arises a question. Should a thing or life exhibit Tathagata nature or heavenly nature? The answer: it must exhibit heavenly nature. If it exhibits Tathagata nature, then all things and lives will be uniform, with no distinction of levels. The vast world will have a single appearance, either all water or all wood. Only by exhibiting heavenly nature can there be a dazzling array of diversity, with tea, alcohol, milk, doors, windows, tables, chairs, plants, animals, humans, celestials, gods, demons, goblins, and monsters. The Creator's will is not for things and lives to exhibit self-nature, Buddha nature, or Tathagata nature, but to exhibit their respective heavenly natures, each fulfilling its role. A table functions as a table, not as wood. Milk does not fulfill the function of milk, but insists on fulfilling the function of water, which is contrary to Tao and will cause distress. I previously said that one should bloom like a flower, exhibiting Tathagata nature, and that a cat catching a mouse exhibits Tathagata nature. This is inaccurate and confuses Tathagata nature with heavenly nature. However, I said this to align with the traditional understanding of Tathagata nature. I know that when I say bloom like a flower, you will inevitably exhibit heavenly nature. No matter how hard you try, you cannot exhibit Tathagata nature. Therefore, saying this is not a big deal. A cup of tea, when asked to exhibit Tathagata nature, can only show the characteristics of tea, not water. In fact, the above analysis and explanation are not very beneficial and may make the issue more complex, trapping people in conceptual constraints. The simplest method is for a person to free themselves from distress, worry, and fear to the greatest extent possible, to achieve a state of no attachment and no dwelling, to strive for no self and no form. By doing so, one becomes a Buddha or celestial and enters the Elysium world. Therefore, my suggestion is not to worry about self-nature, Buddha nature, Tathagata nature, and heavenly nature, but to strive to free oneself from distress, worry, and fear, to enter a state of no attachment, no dwelling, no self, and no form. By achieving this, the most beautiful wishes can be fulfilled, the most beautiful ideals realized, and one can enter the higher realms of life and enjoy the infinite joys of life. 生活在第二家园里，为什么不会生病? Why do we not get sick living in the second home? Xiefeng, July 8, 2012. Translation edited by Qin Yu. The most skillful doctor does not treat illnesses but prevents them, ensuring that people never get sick. In this sense, I, Xiefeng, consider myself one of the most skillful doctors among humanity. Physiological diseases stem from deficiencies in the spirit and soul. When a person's spirit and soul gradually improve and reach perfection, not only do they stop getting sick, but any existing conditions also gradually heal, leading to a state of health. I address the root causes of illness, focusing particularly on the cultivation of the soul garden. As a person's soul garden gradually perfects, they naturally do not fall ill. Brothers and sisters living in the second home who strictly follow the roadmap can testify. Has your health been improving, and have you been falling sick less often? If some still experience illness, I urge you to carefully examine whether you harbor doubts about my guidance in certain aspects, or if you have not fully implemented it in some areas. If you have genuinely followed the guidance, you should not experience illness after living in the home for a year. In addition to the perfection of the spirit and soul, I have also provided many effective prescriptions. I have alleviated your worries, anxieties, pains, and fears. You no longer face much pressure related to food, clothing, housing, transportation, aging, illness, and death. With reduced stress, your physiological functions begin to operate normally, and the flow of qi and blood remains smooth, preventing blockages. I bring you joy and happiness through engaging in romance and affection, flirting, and lighthearted interactions. You no longer have time to worry or be troubled. You don't even think about illness. If your mind is free from illness, how can it manifest in the body? I have placed you in a paradise-like living environment, surrounded by green mountains, clear waters, bird songs, and fragrant flowers. The environment is clean and spotless. The water in the 3 branches comes from mountain springs, free from chemical additives or pollution. The vegetables we grow ourselves with minimal use of fertilizers and pesticides are almost entirely natural. There is less meat consumption, and smoking and drinking are almost non-existent. Additionally, I ensure everyone gets ample sleep and avoids excessive labor, eliminating external factors that cause illness. Life depends on movement. I ensure everyone participates in physical labor, keeping muscles, joints, tendons, and bones constantly active. Flowing water does not stagnate. A well-oiled door hinge does not rust, so illness cannot arise. Dancing, singing, and playing games keep everyone in a positive and optimistic state, full of vitality and youthful energy, reducing the likelihood of illness. By implementing holographic management, I have reduced the stress and burden of commands, supervision, urging, and inspection. This allows you to maintain a joyful mood in whatever you do. Each person has a sacred, undisturbed bedroom where they can relax, calm their mind, and be free to do as they wish, so illness will not come near you. I guide everyone toward higher spaces like the 1,000-year world of heaven, etc., filling you with hope and aspiration for the future. Thus, you do not focus on present difficulties and worries, but treat everything as a game. This is also a major factor in not getting sick. With freedom in romantic love and sexual expression, there are no longer frustrations, suppressions, or worries about emotions and sex. Instead, you gain endless joy and vitality. Where could illness possibly come from? Of course, we are still some distance away from complete immunity to illness. The Chanyuan exercises have not been fully embraced, but I firmly believe that as the home continues to improve and perfect, it will become impossible for anyone to get sick, and illness will become a luxury. Everything is a result of cause and effect. Without the causes of illness, wishing for the effects of illness is mere fantasy, unless one pretends to be sick. From the fact that brothers and sisters in the home are gradually not falling ill, it should be clear that there are no diseases in the heavenly kingdom. As we become healthier and less sick, we are gradually approaching and entering the heavenly kingdom. Facts speak louder than words. Is there anyone who still doubts my guidance? Should you not strengthen your faith and strictly follow the guide's roadmap? 心灵神交, Spiritual Communion. Xiefeng. September 23, 2012. Translation edited by Qin Yu. When hearts are in tune, a single glance, a gesture, an expression, a movement, or a word can open a door as beautiful and infinite as poetry and painting. From then on, in flower gardens under the moonlight, by the streams, on the hills, in the valleys, inside the caves, the heart blooms with wonder everywhere. Everything becomes serene and pleasant, with an endless sense of ease and contentment, pure and untainted, peaceful and warm. There are no obstacles, no barriers, no worries, no restraints. One can follow their hearts and freely display their grace and charm. From now on, whether at the ends of the earth or across mountains and rivers, no matter how high the mountains or how vast the waters, even amidst dense fog and mist, the bond is as close as glue. Hearts and souls are intertwined, with no grievances, no sadness, no troubles, no hesitation. One can quietly observe the rising and falling tides, the swirling clouds, and the magical combinations and performances of countless things and phenomena. They can instantly merge into a roaring fire and stir up tumultuous waves, savoring the dynamic and wonderful realms where yin and yang meet, where heaven and earth connect, experiencing the swirling clouds and shifting rains, engaging in passionate embraces and intimate union, following the flow of life, carefree and at ease, where space disappears, time ceases to exist, and only the spirit shines, the soul drifts. It is endless bliss, boundless and infinite, free from thirst and hunger, without weariness or fatigue. The heart is unattached and unobstructed, beyond words and indescribable joy. This is spiritual communion. 看偶然现象的必然性所阐发的启示. Revelations from the inevitability within apparent coincidences. Xiefeng. September 24, 2012. Translation edited by Qin Yu. 3 years ago, Lucian North, a 77-year-old Canadian man, won a lottery jackpot equivalent to 100 million renminbi. The unexpected windfall led to the following consequences. Lucian gave most of the winnings to his son, neighbors, and relatives, which greatly displeased his wife. The couple frequently quarreled, and their relationship gradually deteriorated. Ultimately, Lucian's wife divorced him and left. Lucian's son, Daniel, was furious when he learned that his father had been cheated out of 5 million Canadian dollars by neighbors. Earlier this spring, Daniel filed a lawsuit against 4 of his father's neighbors and a relative of his ex-wife, accusing them of exploiting Lucian and illegally taking a portion of his jackpot. The lawsuit left the elderly and frail Lucian overwhelmed and estranged him from all his neighbors and relatives. On September 1st, Daniel and his wife, Teresa, held a large party to celebrate the completion of their luxurious pool. However, Teresa unexpectedly fell into the pool and drowned. Her body was discovered at the bottom of the pool the next morning. On the evening of September 18th, Daniel was resting at his home in the Montreal suburbs when his pet dog suddenly ran out of the yard. Daniel rushed out to chase the dog and was hit by a speeding Jeep, dying on the spot. 3 incidents among these events seem purely coincidental. First, Teresa unexpectedly fell into the pool and drowned. Second, the pet dog suddenly ran out of the yard. Third, he was hit by a speeding Jeep and died on the spot. Each of these events appears accidental and fortuitous when considered individually. However, when we look at the overall trend, we realize that everything was inevitable. The pet dog happened to run out of the yard while Daniel was resting, and a speeding car happened to be passing by just as he ran outside. Who made the pet dog run out of the yard at the precise moment when the speeding Jeep was coming? Did the dog decide to run out on its own? The insights are: there are no accidental phenomena or events. Everything is inevitable. Human and animal behavior is not entirely controlled by their own consciousness. The Tao's program is constantly at work. Everything operates within the Tao. What can we learn from this? Misfortune, that is where happiness depends. Happiness, that is where misfortune underlies. When we are fortunate, we should cherish it and avoid squandering it. Maintain simplicity. Do not expect to gain unexpected wealth. Rely on your own labor and creation. We do not gamble, buy lottery tickets, engage in profiteering activities, invest in stock trading, pick up lost items, or ever expect to get rich overnight. The sum of positive and negative energy is zero. The more we gain, the more we lose. Therefore, contribute more and seek less. The five elements, metal, wood, water, fire, earth, generate and overcome each other. Always maintain balance, avoid extremes, and develop steadily. Otherwise, calamities may arise at any time. The Tao is in operation, and its program is at work. Good deeds are rewarded with good, and evil deeds are rewarded with evil. Focus on perfecting your non-material structure and cultivating good qualities, rather than spending time and energy on material wealth and fame. Whatever happens to you is the result of cause and effect. Therefore, do not harbor resentment towards others. Instead, look for reasons within yourself rather than blaming the pet dog or the speeding Jeep. Everyone may face potential calamities like injury, terminal illness, disaster, loss, or imprisonment. The best way to prevent misfortune is to adhere to the path of the greatest creator. Align your words, actions, thoughts, and behavior with truth, goodness, beauty, love, faith, and sincerity. Contribute more, enjoy less, and thus avoid misfortune and escape disasters. The pet dog suddenly running out of the yard is driven by a process or some invisible consciousness. This suggests that, as your life and life guide, my words and actions, and the guidance I provide, are not entirely under my own consciousness control but are operated by the Tao. Because I no longer exist. I died in a car accident, and the current I is merely a mediator between the greatest creator and you. Absorption of non-material energy. Xiefeng. October 13, 2012. Translation edited by Qin Yu. All life relies on energy to exist. Without energy, life cannot survive. The growth of a plant is determined by the energy it absorbs. A plant that absorbs ample energy grows well, while one that does not receive enough energy will have limited growth, will not bloom, and will not produce full fruit. The same applies to animals. For a person to be healthy, clear-minded, mentally sharp, and to do good deeds, they must absorb sufficient energy. Otherwise, they may become ill, feel depressed, lack vitality, and be listless. Energy is divided into material energy and non-material energy. Non-material energy is further divided into positive and negative energy. Positive energy can make life vibrant and full of confidence, while negative energy can cause a person to become dispirited and lose confidence. The material body needs material energy, while the spiritual and mental body need non-material energy. What people need most is the positive non-material energy for their spirit and mind, and what needs the most attention is preventing and avoiding negative non-material energy. What is positive non-material energy? Answer: faith, ideals, beliefs, love, wealth, happiness, freedom, joy, pleasure, encouragement, praise, smoothness, satisfaction, appreciation and being appreciated, care, affection, harmonious and pleasant interpersonal relationships, health, beauty, goodness, brightness, purity, cleanliness and tidiness, good order, and beautiful environments, etc. In other words, if a person lives in a well-ordered, beautiful environment with bright springtime, harmonious interpersonal relationships, frequently receives praise, encouragement, care, and appreciation from others, experiences smooth endeavors, a satisfying life, encounters agreeable people and things, feels happy and joyful, enjoys freedom and happiness, and is filled with love for life, confidence in the future, and longing for a better life due to strong faith and belief, then this person has absorbed sufficient positive non-material energy. What is negative non-material energy? Answer: Poor interpersonal relationships, conflicts, contradictions, struggles, arguments, quarrels, and resentments with others. Being bullied, oppressed, exploited, insulted, attacked, ridiculed, and belittled. Dirty, chaotic, and poor environments. Disorderly conditions. Anger, rage, complaints, grievances, and lamentations. The illnesses, negative, pessimistic emotions, information, and rhetoric of those around you, especially those closest to you. Stress and unsatisfactory people, situations, and life, etc. In other words, when a person is in a dirty and chaotic environment, where everything is disorderly and their peace and life are frequently disturbed, surrounded by people who are depressed and dispirited, with tense interpersonal relationships and frequent unjust treatment, experiencing high levels of stress, hearing many complaints and negative messages, and encountering many unsatisfactory and unfavorable people and situations, then that person will lose energy and become disillusioned with life. How to prevent and avoid absorbing negative energy? Escape. If possible, distance yourself as much as possible from people, things, and environments that make you unhappy, uncomfortable, unfree, or unblessed. Stay away from those who are dispirited, lethargic, bothersome, troubling, frequently angry, resentful, complaining, or constantly airing grievances. How to absorb positive energy? Get closer to the greatest creator, gods, Buddhas, celestial beings, and those who consistently bring joy and confidence. Get closer to beautiful, civilized environments and closer to paradise. 成仙奥秘，不再拥有自己. The mystery of becoming a celestial being, no longer possessing yourself. Xiefeng, November 16th, 2012. Translation edited by Qin Yu. A sage has no personal heart. They align their heart with the hearts of the people, so a sage does not possess themselves. A celestial being or Buddha has no self. Their heart aligns with the heart of the greatest creator. Therefore, to become a celestial being or Buddha, one must achieve a state of having no self. A celestial being or Buddha is nature itself. Nature is the attribute bestowed by the greatest creator. Living according to one's nature means living within the greatest creator's consciousness, living within the Tao. To possess oneself means to act not according to nature, but according to one's own desires and inclinations. When a being is arrogant, selfish, greedy, ambitious, and acts for their own enjoyment, desires, or possessions, seeking money, power, fame, or pleasure, they possess themselves. Demons are beings who possess themselves. To maintain their own self, they rebel against the greatest creator, defy heaven, and recruit forces to expand their power, aiming to stand on equal footing with the greatest creator. Therefore, when a person desires to possess themselves, they resonate with demons, becoming demonic progeny. This is why Christ Jesus warned that to follow him into the kingdom of the greatest creator, one must renounce the self. Is it good to possess oneself? No. Reflect deeply and carefully. Where do your troubles, pain, sorrow, anxiety, fear, negativity, pessimism, misfortune, and disasters come from? These all arise from possessing oneself. When you no longer possess yourself, these negative things will dissipate. Hence, the sage Laozi advises that the great sufferings of humanity stem from the self. Once the self is gone, there will be no suffering. Why do you debate, argue, quarrel, and conflict with others? It is because you possess yourself. When you no longer possess yourself, what is there to debate, argue, or fight over? Conflicts arise from wanting to protect oneself, one's possessions, and one's vested interests, or from scheming to gain or hold onto something. Why are you irritated or troubled? Is it not because your vanity, self-esteem, or interest have been harmed, leading to frustration and resistance? All those who commit crimes and end up imprisoned, are they not driven by the desire to avenge or possess due to possessing themselves? All those who descend to hell, are they not opposing the way of the greatest creator due to their self-possession? Therefore, the sage embraces unity and is a model for all under the heavens, which means embracing unity cannot involve possessing oneself. Once one possesses oneself, it becomes not unity but a multiplicity, embracing two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What is unity? The supreme leader is unity. In the universe, the greatest creator is the supreme leader. Thus, the entire universe aligns with the greatest creator. In worldly society, the president or chairman is the supreme leader. Thus, people must align with the president or chairman. Specifically, in production, the CEO or head of an organization is the supreme leader. Everything must align with the leader. Is it good to no longer possess oneself? Certainly. Without possessing oneself, one can maintain harmony with others, society, and nature. Everything will proceed in an orderly and well-regulated manner. Although it may seem like losing oneself on the surface, in essence, one ends up gaining more and enjoying more through harmony with others, society, and nature. By giving up oneself, one actually finds oneself. By striving to possess oneself, one ultimately loses oneself. Take the example of the Life-Changyuan second home. All those Chanyuan celestials who sought to preserve their own selves in the Chanyuan ultimately disappeared into the sea of ordinary beings, losing themselves. Meanwhile, those who gave up themselves and ceased to possess themselves entered the home one by one, living in a beautiful, carefree paradise, enjoying a happy, free, and blissful life, and ultimately found themselves and gained themselves. When the self is completely lost, the heart becomes relaxed and happy. Only when a person fully abandons the self and ceases to possess themselves can they appreciate and experience the magnificence and wonder of the vast world. Enter a realm of ultimate freedom, understand the workings of the Tao and the will of the greatest creator, and live out their true self. Do you wish to become a celestial being or Buddha? Do you want to achieve supreme, authentic wisdom and escape the confines of heaven and earth to enjoy eternal bliss in the boundless realm of ultimate happiness? Yes. The way is to abandon oneself, to no longer possess oneself. Remember, the core of Buddha's teaching is no self, no form, a mind free of attachment, and no hindrances. 理性思维和灵性思维的分野. The distinction between rational thinking and spiritual thinking. Xiefeng. February 22nd, 2013. Translation edited by Qinyu. Ignorant people rely on instinct, worldly people rely on personal gain, mortals rely on emotions, wise people rely on rationality, and celestial beings rely on spirituality. A rational thinker thoroughly deliberates on everything, using all the rules and regulations of the real world, along with their knowledge and analysis of personal gains and losses, to decide whether to take action. They summarize experiences, learn lessons, think rationally, deliberate carefully, weigh pros and cons, seek good fortune while avoiding disaster, and take preventive measures. A spiritual thinker acts according to their nature, responding to circumstances and destiny spontaneously. They pay attention to their initial feelings and sensory stimuli, making prompt decisions without considering the consequences, success, or personal gain or loss. They do not worry about future necessities like food or clothing. They speak and act as they feel, laying eggs when it's time to lay eggs, crowing when it's time to crow, living when it's time to live, and dying when it's time to die. As for everything else, they follow the guidance of their spirit and the operation of the Tao, without hiding or pretending, being open and upright, without using cunning or deceit, just like a baby. Belief in the greatest creator, trust in cause and effect, and giving one's best effort each day are characteristics of a spiritual thinker. Beware of others, ask a few more questions, be cautious of being deceived, and think thrice before acting are characteristics of a rational thinker. A true gentleman does not seek blessings, yet heaven guides him to fulfill his true intentions. A cunning person tries to avoid misfortune, yet heaven seizes his soul at the very moment he schemes. Cleverness may overreach itself. The fox knew too much, that's how he lost his tail. When humans make plans, God laughs. No matter how clever or resourceful a person is, they cannot escape the net of heaven and earth. No matter how ingenious or wise, one cannot escape the retribution of cause and effect. Human schemes and calculations cannot alter the workings of the Tao. Everything operates within the Tao. How many of the astronomical combinations of the 64 factors can one truly understand? The way of the sage is to abandon wisdom and cunning. Without abandoning wisdom and cunning, it is difficult to maintain constancy. The ordinary person is clear and bright, while I alone am dull. The ordinary person is perceptive, while I alone am muddled. Misfortune, that is where happiness depends. Happiness, that is where misfortune underlies. When you think you are right, you may be wrong. When you think you're wrong, you may be right. Who can know the mysteries within? Being adaptable and carefree, allowing oneself to flow with the Tao, characterizes a spiritual thinker. Thinking things through, being cautious and meticulous, characterizes a rational thinker. 与人争辩者没有善良之辈. Those who argue with others are unkind. Xiefeng. April 16, 2013. Translation edited by Qin Yu. As long as one contends with others, whether it's quarreling, competing, snatching, arguing, disputing, or debating, it is still contention. The purpose is either to claim what belongs to others as their own or to impose one's will on others, with the core aim being the struggle for energy. Therefore, anyone who contends with others is unkind. Spouses are most prone to quarreling and debating, so neither spouse is kind. Once someone becomes a husband or wife, kindness disappears from their world. Different beliefs and sects easily fall into disputes and debates. As soon as contention arises, that belief or sect ceases to be kind. Religions and political parties often engage in arguments and debates, which shows that neither religions nor political parties are kind. Contention is easily sparked between nations and ethnic groups, proving that neither nations nor ethnic groups are kind. Harmony requires the elimination of quarreling, competing, snatching, warring, arguing, disputing, and debating. Without removing contention, there will never be harmony, and the world will never have peace. No matter who participates in contention, whether using any justification, excuse, or method, or even under the banner of the greatest creator, gods, Buddhas, truth, or the salvation of all beings, they have strayed from kindness and are evil. Chanyuan celestials should stay away from contention. Truth never contends. The greatest creator never contends with gods, Buddhas, celestial beings, saints, humans, ghosts, or demons. There is no contention in heaven. The beings in heaven never quarrel, compete, snatch, argue, dispute, debate, or war with others. A harmonious home should not have contention. A peaceful world should not have contention. The Tao operates according to its program, and cause and effect are in action. What is there to contend about? Cars travel on roads. Horses follow their paths. What is there to contend about? Cows go to the cow shed. Pigs go to the pig pen. Celestial beings follow the celestial way, and Buddhas enter the Buddha's land. What is there to contend about? Thus, Chanyuan celestials never contend with others, especially not argue or debate with others. Can a cow and a pig argue out any truth? Therefore, I won't argue with you. If you think you're right, live your way. Don't argue with me. You don't need to win me to be right. Can bees and flies argue out any truth? Therefore, I won't argue with you. If you think dog excrement smells good, you are right. Go ahead and eat it. My food is flower nectar. Chanyuan celestials do not contend with anyone. Whether parents, spouses, siblings, friends, other religions, sects, or even with rivers, lands, grasses, trees, flowers, insects, birds, or animals. Do not argue with me. You are right. Just do as you believe is right. 修行修炼者不能聚集物质能量. Practitioners should not accumulate material energy. Xiefeng. May 8, 2013. Translation edited by Qin Yu. The vast majority of self-cultivation theories and practices instruct practitioners to accumulate energy, particularly emphasizing the avoidance of sexual activity to prevent energy loss. They also advise against excessive joy or sorrow to conserve energy. Indeed, from the perspective of energy accumulation, the teachings of great masters throughout history are correct. However, I must ask, what is the purpose of accumulating energy? Will amassing sufficient energy enable one to become a celestial being or a Buddha and reach higher life spaces? Let's analyze this step by step. Firstly, money, treasures, and material possessions are forms of energy, as are vitality and semen. All material things are energy, and so are spiritual and soul aspects. Undoubtedly, for ordinary people, it is essential to accumulate energy, particularly material energy, to properly address life's needs such as food, clothing, shelter, and health. But for those cultivating to become celestial beings or Buddhas, what kind of energy should they be accumulating? Under what circumstances does enlightenment occur? There are many circumstances, but one critical condition is when energy is at its lowest. When a highly ambitious person falls ill, their ambition generally diminishes. It begins to explore and yearn for a world beyond the material and physical. As the saying goes, as a person nears death, their words become kind. Why do people become kind when they are about to die? Because when death is imminent, they have almost no energy left, leading to a degree of enlightenment. This means that when energy is at its lowest, people come to understand the essence of life. After going through a near-death experience, they see through the illusions of the world and find the right path. Christ Jesus said, "It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven." What does this mean? It means that the more material energy a person has, the harder it is to enter heaven. How many wealthy people are willing to give away all their possessions to attain a beautiful future life? Very few, indeed. Experience shows that the more material energy one accumulates, the harder it becomes to elevate the quality of one's life. Only by closing one door can another open. When a person focuses their mind, time, and energy on accumulating material energy, the door to heaven closes. Is having more energy always good? I once said that giving a dog a mountain of bones and meat would provide it with ample energy. But can this dog become a dragon? The answer is no. Not only will it not become a dragon, but its canine nature will be strengthened, making it believe that being a dog is just fine. Similarly, when a person has abundant material resources, they may feel content with their human existence and be less inclined to engage in rigorous self-cultivation, thus missing the opportunity for self-elevation. After sexual activity, both men and women feel fatigued, which indicates that energy has indeed been consumed. But is this energy consumption beneficial, or is it better to accumulate energy without consuming it? What are the results of non-consumption? One's temper may become irritable, the mind unbalanced, and one may easily become lost in thoughts when alone, find it difficult to focus, suppress oneself, miss out on life's wonders, and feel less joy, rejecting beautiful things and lacking a longing for a good life and future. And what about the results of consumption? One's temper becomes calm, the mind balanced, one can focus better, find everything in the world beautiful, desires diminish, confidence increases, and the longing for a good life and future intensifies. There is no scientific evidence to prove that refraining from energy consumption leads to becoming a celestial being or a Buddha. Sexual essence is material energy and should not be accumulated. The conclusion is, practitioners should not accumulate material energy but should focus on accumulating spiritual and soul energy. So, what is spiritual and soul energy? Friendship, harmonious relationships with those around you, a beautiful environment, and a peaceful life are examples of spiritual energy. Selfless contribution, labor creation, joy, delightful experiences, longing for a good life, romantic and affectionate interactions, flirting, etc., are examples of soul energy. Am I right? The spring river warms, and the ducks know it first. You know best whether the shoes fit. 我们需要的成熟和不需要的成熟. The maturity we need and the maturity we don't need. Xiefeng. June 23, 2013. Translation edited by Qin Yu. Only mature fruits have delicate, sweet flesh that is suitable for eating and rich in nutrients. Immature fruits are astringent, sour, lack moisture, and have coarse flesh. Therefore, one should eat only mature fruits. Only mature seeds have full grains. Their life's non-material structure is perfect, and their vitality is abundant. This allows them to sprout, grow, flower, and bear fruit in the future. Therefore, the seeds stored in the granary must be mature. Only mature individuals are flexible, smooth, and boundless, like flowing water that adapts to any shape and continues indefinitely. They can unite seamlessly with heaven, earth, and humanity without obstacles or hindrances. They can maintain harmony with all things in the universe without self-interest. They can merge with the Tao without individual desires, pursuits, attachments, or possessions. Therefore, only mature individuals can become celestial beings or Buddhas and live in the heavenly realms. However, this kind of maturity is not what is needed. Fruit that is picked before it is ripe and left to mature over a few days or a period of time is not desirable. Maturity that comes before childhood is complete, where someone becomes prematurely adult-like, is not needed. Maturity that appears before the end of adolescence, where someone is too mature for their age, is not needed. Maturity that appears before experiencing the vibrancy of youth, where someone is already too serious, is not needed. Maturity that appears before experiencing life's joys, happiness, freedom, and blessedness, where someone is already spiritually transformed, is not needed. Each stage of life should display its unique characteristics. Premature maturity goes against the Tao of the greatest creator and the natural laws. It is inhumane to prevent children from playing and instead demand that they be obedient and focus solely on academic knowledge. It is inhumane to prevent teenagers from being high-spirited and full of ambition, only to require them to study, think, and bear heavy burdens. It is inhumane to prevent young people from having dreams, fantasies, lofty ambitions, and indulging in the joys of youth, and instead require them to be practical, focus on making money, and struggle for survival. It is inhumane to deny people a life of joy, happiness, freedom, and blessedness, while insisting they endure hardship and suffering to achieve spiritual transformation. Buddha and celestial beings embody their nature. To fully live in one's nature is the will of the greatest creator in creating life. Therefore, any maturity that suppresses or destroys one's nature to force maturity is unnecessary. In reality, whether a being is a celestial being or Buddha is not determined by age, knowledge, experience, or understanding of spiritual practices, or if they have learned any profound theory or practicing method. If one lives in their true nature, they are already a celestial being or Buddha, a beautiful life united with the greatest creator. Thus, a 3 to 5-year-old child, if their spirit is untainted, is in a state of a celestial being. There is no need for someone to deliberately guide and educate them on becoming a celestial being or Buddha. If a prodigy is carefully guided and educated by experts, their talent might be obscured. Imagine telling a peach tree, "You should grow well, absorb plenty of water and nutrients, maintain your peach tree nature, do not be lured by pear trees, and you should flower in spring, and the peaches you produce must taste like peaches." Is this necessary? The peach tree knows best how to grow, flower, and bear fruit. It understands natural laws better than humans and knows how to harmonize with nature. Humans should not guide or educate, but should provide water and fertilizer. Premature maturity can be counterproductive. If a person does not live in their true nature but spends every day thinking about how to gain praise and eulogy by showing maturity, this kind of maturity is undesirable. Men should be men, and women should be women. A woman who is externally graceful but internally capable is considered a mature woman. A man who is externally strong but internally gentle and refined is considered a mature man. This kind of maturity is not the same as mature crops, but rather a distorted form of maturity. We would never consider a hen that lays eggs and crows to be mature, nor would we consider a rooster that crows and lays eggs to be mature. A rooster that crows in time and a hen that lays eggs in time is considered mature. If a hen stops laying eggs or a rooster stops crowing, it is time for them to be slaughtered. 度化乾坤经文 The Scriptures of Transforming Qiankun, Chanyuan Celestial. Xiefeng. October 21st, 2013. Translation edited by Qinyu. All things appear through transformation. All phenomena enter the heart. In tranquility and oneness, all phenomena merge into holograph. Holograph is indescribable, infinitely wondrous, and boundless. Using logic is like fishing in the forest. Wisdom obstructs one's perception of the Tao. The view of self harms the heart. The more profound one's knowledge, the more impoverished one's spirituality. Once there is self-attachment, evil thoughts arise. Writing or speaking about it harms both oneself and others. Joy is the fairy world. Freedom is the Buddha's land. Arguing with others is the act of a foolish and stubborn person. Becoming a Buddha requires great faith, not an understanding of doctrines. Attainment requires accumulation, not clever shortcuts. Good thoughts protect a kind heart. Kind hearts treat all beings well. Attacking others is the mark of an evil person. The desire for fame, wealth, and status must be completely discarded. Losing humility leads to becoming an arrogant, devilish person. Respect the messenger before you, not for the messenger but for the one who sent them. Harming others ultimately harms oneself. Praising others ultimately praises oneself. Selflessness fulfills the self. Unselfishness leads to personal gain. Karma is tightly interwoven. Every detail requires caution. A single careless word can open the gates of hell. Those who belittle the greatest creator are among the devils. Those who desecrate the greatest creator face endless suffering. Do not dwell on the scriptures of truth. Focus on the innocence of a child. Open the windows to let sunlight and moonlight enter, and do not harbor shadows in your heart. Follow the guide's path, and with each day, approach the fairy world. A heart full of devotion helps you ascend to the heavens. Empty talk leads to a wasted life. Planting vegetables helps you enter the pure and empty. Sweeping the floor cleanses the heart's dust, and even transporting manure can lead to purity. Do not worry about worldly affairs. All things move within the Tao. Rewards and punishments come in time, relying solely on self-cultivation. The worldly scenes are like fleeting flowers and bubbles, like dew and lightning. Do not let them distract you from your Tao. Space is infinitely vast, yet clearly layered. If you are lost in the world, it is like sowing seeds in the desert. The home, the second home, is like an egg or pearl, with a vast cosmos inside. There are paths to heaven, and one can take root in the earth by living there. The gate of nature is the gate of the Tao. The Tao's mystery is entirely in nature. Buddha and celestial beings are nature itself. Pure nature leads to the celestial realm. What is beyond words is the Dharma of Buddha. Do not speak of Dharma in terms of forms. Becoming a Buddha is through awakening, not through verbal practice. Everything is a game. Only life is real. Devout reverence to the greatest creator ensures the perpetuity of life. The home is full of games. Return to the nature of a child. If one cannot play, their cultivation will be in vain. Flirtation and jesting are not lewd. In laughter and joy, there is neither self nor form. Shakyamuni Buddha was the first to attain the Tao. Following his teachings leads to perfect enlightenment. Jesus is Christ, the greatest God in the world. Believing in Jesus' words brings the kingdom of heaven before you. Laozi enlightened the Tao and virtue, teaching through maxims. Practice diligently every day to revive and attain the great Tao. The image of Guanyin Bodhisattva is a model for practitioners, rescuing the suffering in oneself, achieving great compassion and great vows. The guide's roadmap must be followed precisely. A small deviation can lead to great errors. If you fail to achieve the right result, do not blame me. Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. Go, go, go. Go to the other shore with transcendent wisdom. 生命禅院第二段历程禅院曹启成词 Chanyuan Celestial's departure speech for the second stage of Life at Chanyuan. Xiefeng. March 3, 2014. Translation edited by Chinyu. My heart is pure and serene, without resentment or hatred. For what I have done in the past, I have repaid all beings, without regret toward heaven or my conscience. The difficulties I have encountered are due to karmic retribution, the arrangement of the Tao. I accept them gladly, with no grudges, and my spirit is clear and bright. Today, I set out with renewed vigor, starting from scratch, without any regrets. My heart is pure, and my future is bright. My debts are paid, and the merits are recorded. The fairy world and the Buddhist Pure Land are my home. I proceed with ease, finding joy in new beginnings. Saying farewell to the past and welcoming the future, creating something from nothing. Every place is an oasis. My heart is joyful, and the path is clear. Parting from my hometown and loved ones, I am originally a celestial being and Buddha, untainted by worldly emotions. My ties to the secular world are severed, and my heart is at peace. I am originally selfless, descending into the mortal world not of my own will, but by the decree of the heavenly Tao. May my loved ones not be troubled by me. As for the future, it is up to fate. No matter where I am, I will naturally follow the Tao, and my words and actions will align with nature. Planting grass and trees is my nature. Living among flowers, the spiritual essence endures. Under the moon and among flowers, the sound of flutes and pipes is heard. Life's journey is a fleeting illusion, passing quickly. It is but a glimpse, and I move forward gracefully towards eternity. In the garden of my soul, the mountain flowers bloom brilliantly. The weeds have been removed, and it is beautifully adorned. What the world desires, I have already experienced. I do not linger in the hustle and bustle. Fame and fortune are like dust, and worldly love is foul and stinking. With the guide ahead, there are new realms to discover. Spreading a palmful of sand, green trees emerge. Holograph gives birth to the heart, and mysteries abound. Consciousness precedes, structures emerge, and energy follows. Marvels appear. Reaching the heavens and the earth, the games are endless. I am a rare flower of the heavenly kingdom, untouched by the worldly hustle and bustle. Amidst 1,000 miles of frozen land, I bloom gracefully with celestial beauty. The clouds on the horizon connect with the sacred mountain, offering infinite scenery and boundless skies. The fourth level of meditation links to the celestial abode, and the celestial islands are not far from sight. 我看到的一切井然有序. Everything I see is in perfect order. Xiefeng, May 12, 2014. Translation edited by Qin Yu. The phenomena are myriad. The world is chaotic. Disasters are frequent, and changes are constant. Friends turn against each other. Kin harm one another. Affections shift, and grudges transform. People rush and struggle. Change happens hastily. There are conflicts and competition, hidden traps, separation, and disintegration. Old things disappear, new things emerge. Everything appears dazzling and disordered, but to me, everything is in perfect order. Unable to decide, hard to judge, what should be done, torn between choices. When facing a situation, one's body is not under their control, hastily adapting, acting against one's will, reading others' expressions, weighing pros and cons. Human calculations are not as good as the heavens' calculations. A person of integrity, though not actively seeking fortune, the heavens guide them unexpectedly to achieve their heartfelt aspirations. A devious individual, despite craftily avoiding misfortune, the heavens intervene at their cunning moments to seize their soul. If one does not recognize the perfect order in everything, they will spend their life struggling in a sea of worries and turmoil. Life is impermanent. Changes occur too rapidly. Yesterday's bloom fades today. Joy hides sorrow. Sorrow contains joy. Misfortune, that is where happiness depends. Happiness, that is where misfortune underlies. In danger, misfortunes turn into blessings. In tranquility, thunder rumbles. Spring is just bright, yet dust rises. Peach blossoms bloom, yet autumn's chill is felt. A sudden marriage of 3 months, followed by the rush for divorce. Is it time, fortune, or destiny? Or is it made by heaven, earth, and human choices? A rich person can die of starvation. A high official can be imprisoned. Today's bustling scene turns desolate tomorrow. Broken walls where foxes sleep, deserted platforms where rabbits walk, all were places of singing and dancing in those days. Yellow flowers covered with cold dew, withering grasses looming in mist, all belong to the battlefields of the old times. Once commanding the winds and clouds, later retreating in defeat. Yesterday, surrounded by esteemed guests, today, left in decline and destitution. The tide rises and falls, flowers bloom and wither. Is human life like a revolving wall panel, constantly flipping up and down? Why do some people live safely and peacefully to the end, while others wander through life and die tragically? Why do some live leisurely and comfortably, while others toil and worry despite their hard work? Why do some, with many children, end up lonely in old age, while others, without children, live peacefully in their later years? Why do some, with vast knowledge, end up committing suicide, while others, uneducated, live a long life? Is it due to genetics, or the merits or sins of past lives? Who can guarantee what tomorrow will bring? Is it better to drift with the current or to swim against it? Is it better to follow the teachings of gods, Buddhas, celestial beings, and saints, or to act on one's own accord? Which profession to choose out of the 360 trades? Is it better to consider long-term benefits or to solve immediate problems first? Is it better to eat the food given as charity or to earn one's own sustenance? Is it better to continue working for others or to forge one's own path? Is it better to study diligently or to work in the fields from dawn to dusk? Is a turbulent life better or a peaceful one? Is experiencing wind and rain better or resting in a coffin? Can you make the right choice? Is your choice useful? Are you driven by survival pressure, or do you have a clear understanding and control over everything? The world changes and life is uncertain. To seek permanence, people feel the need for cultivation and practice. Throughout history, there has never been a shortage of practitioners, but what exactly are they practicing and cultivating? What have they achieved in the end? Have their ideals been realized? Have their wishes been fulfilled? Have they attained permanence? Is it self-deception or solid evidence? Is success 3 parts human effort and 7 parts heaven's will, or 7 parts human effort and 3 parts heaven's will? Or is it 50-50? Is it that human determination can overcome heaven, or is it that destiny is hard to defy? Is fortune and misfortune created by oneself, or is the script of the grand stage of life already set, with everyone playing their roles involuntarily? Is reality a projection of self-consciousness, or is it the arrangement of heaven? The Tao is in operation. Everything is in perfect order. The net of heaven is vast and wide, yet nothing escapes it. The cycle of cause and effect is precise to the slightest detail. Every thought, action, smile, and anger plays a role. It is hard to determine what is the best course of action, but no matter how it is interpreted, there is a clear and distinct path to heaven. Continually giving and dedicating without seeking to take or possess. How to handle myriad matters. How to make choices when faced with difficulties. The answer is, go with the flow, do not force or contrive. Everything has its predetermined course, and there will always be a day of release from imprisonment. Go with the circumstances. Every day, the people and events around you are due to fate. Do your best with the connections, speak clearly, and handle matters thoroughly without leaving regrets. Follow your nature, driven by the Tathagata nature. Listen to the deepest voice of your soul, without weighing pros and cons or pretending. Speak and act naturally. When the opportunity arises, act. When it does not, don't get inflamed, but wait patiently. If you ask why I guide like this, the answer, the reason is in the holograph, difficult to describe, beyond human understanding. 一切依人心而变. Everything changes according to the human heart. Xiefeng, September 16, 2014. Translation edited by Qin Yu. If the earth is a vast desert, the heavens will not bring rain. When the human heart is barren, the heavens will not bestow spiritual gifts. The justice of the Tao lies in its responsiveness to the human heart. What kind of heart we have determines what we receive. Long ago, a wealthy man wanted to start a business to benefit the local people. He went to a village but found the people there indifferent, so he left. He went to another place, where the people were difficult to deal with, so he left again. Finally, he arrived at a place where the people were sincere and kind, and he decided to set up his business there. The lives of the people in that area greatly improved because of this business. There was a wise and profound master with extraordinary powers and abilities. He traveled through many villages and towns in search of a disciple to inherit his teachings. He observed the land, the people's appearances, their speech, and looked for signs, but he never found a suitable candidate. Ultimately, his teachings were lost due to the lack of a proper successor. The universe is filled with many wondrous things, hidden within the ordinary. These wondrous things are as easy to grasp as flipping a switch, but they await those who are destined to receive them. These destined people are not predetermined, but are chosen at random. However, there is a condition. These people's qualities must match the wondrous things they receive. As I often say, only a life of absolute beauty deserves to enjoy absolute beauty. When I first started Life at Genuine, my mind was filled with countless wondrous things. However, as Life at Genuine developed, I found these wondrous things gradually disappearing. Sometimes, my mind felt empty, devoid of anything valuable. This happened because Life at Genuine repeatedly suffered harm and setbacks. My sadness grew as people not only disregarded my guidance, but also questioned, criticized, insulted, and attacked me. My enthusiasm waned, and each time I felt disheartened, I asked myself, why should I reveal these wondrous things to people? Why should I pass on the mysteries of the universe and life to them? I even wondered if I should destroy everything I had already revealed. When I had such thoughts, I felt no regret for myself, but pity for people. What is most laughable is that many believe my creation of Life at Genuine is intended to gain power, replace the government, or trouble other religious and political organizations. A notable example is when, in Yunnan, a police officer candidly told me, "Everything you've started is good and ideal. I don't see any ambition in you." But the problem is, if Life at Genuine continues to develop and grow larger, will it cause trouble for the government? Will it shake society? Can the government not be concerned? Even more laughable is that many people say Xiefeng's goal is to deceive people for money and sex and to seek power. It is truly beyond words. What can I do? With such hearts and people, I can only go with the flow, aligning with the thoughts and wishes of the government and the public. Explanations are futile. Human thoughts are one thing, and the realms of gods and celestial beings are another. Human thoughts cannot comprehend the realms of gods and celestial beings, just as a pig's thoughts cannot comprehend the realm of humans. The wisdom drawn from this is that everything